tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Yadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudapadamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Reghunatha Nidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhayatamscha Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sudevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupyacha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bodhaya Sri Namne Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bodhaya Sri Madhashila Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pachatyadeshi Tarine Mukam Karoti Vajalam Vangam Langhate Giri Yakrivadamaham Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Vishwaram. Hari Hari. Now I'll do prayers to Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Sushrusho Sraddhananasya Vasudeva Gadhariji Syan Mahat Sevaya Vipra Punyatirtha Nishevanat Sranvadam Sagatha Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtanaha Hridiyamdasto Bhadrani Vidhunoti Sukrit Satam Nashta Prayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Tadarajas Bhava Kamalopadayastaye Chedayedairanavitam Stitam Satve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavat Bhakti Yogadaha Bhagavat Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grandhis Jityante Sarva Samsya Chiyante Chasya Karmani Drashta Evatmani Ishvare Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanacha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Nama Pangaja Naphaya Nama Pangaja Maline Nama Pangaja Netraya Namaste Pankajankre. Hari Hari. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, Text 12 today. So let me share the screen. Share the screen. Okay, share screen. And this one, yeah, share. Okay. So we'll read the verse and the purpose. यन्मर्त्यलीलौपैकं स्वयोगमायाबलं दर्शयता गृहीतं विस्मापनं स्वस्य च सौपगर्थे परं पदं भूषणभूषणाङ्गम्. One more time. यन्मर्त्यलीलौपैकं स्वयोगमायाबलं दर्शयता गृहीतं विस्मापनं स्वस्य च सौभगर्थे परं पदं भूषणभूषणाङ्गम्. Synonyms. Yet his eternal form, which Martya, mortal world, Leela Upayikam, just suitable for the pastimes. So Yoga Maya Bala, potency of the internal energy. Darshayata, for manifestation. Grahidam, discovered. Vismapanam, wonderful. Swasya, of his own. Ja, and Saubhagarithe, of the opulent. Param, supreme. Padam, ultimate stand. Bhushana, ornament. Bhushanangam, of the ornaments. Translation and purport. By His Divine Grace, Ilapad ki jai. The Lord appeared in the mortal world by his internal potency, Yoga Maya. He came in his eternal form, which is just suitable for his pastimes. These pastimes were wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself in his form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, his Sri Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Purport. In conformity with the Vedic hymns, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam, the personality of Godhead is more excellent than all other living beings within all the universes in the material world. He is the chief of all living entities. No one can surpass him or be equal to him in wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, or renunciation. When Lord Krishna was within this universe, he seemed to be a human being because he appeared in a manner just suitable for his pastimes in the mortal world. He did not appear in human society in his Vaikuntha feature with 4 hands, because that would not have been suitable for his pastimes. But in spite of his appearing as a human being, no one was or is equal to him in any respect in any of the 6 different opulences. Everyone is more or less proud of his opulence in this world. But when Lord Krishna was in human society, he excelled all his contemporaries within the universe. So we will just stop here and sort of dwell on this first paragraph before going to the next one. So here Uddhava is talking to Vidura. Vidura is inquiring of Uddhava. We heard a few verses already in this chapter, how Vidura met Uddhava during his pilgrimage wanderings, and then he is inquiring of Uddhava about Lord Krishna, and Uddhava becomes stunned in ecstasy, remembering the Lord. And Vidura could see all the symptoms of that body. He's wiping his eyes, tears from his eyes, and trying to articulate, remembering his dearmost friend, Krishna. So in this verse, in this last verse and this verse, he is talking about the bodily features of Krishna. And then, so here in this verse, it is said that the Lord, nobody can excel the Lord in all the 6 opulences, namely beauty, knowledge, wealth, strength, fame, or renunciation. And so he is the chief of all living entities in all the universes. So he has all the 6, only he has got all the 6 opulences in full. We have heard Lord Brahma describe his beauty, form of beauty. Venum konandaravinda dalaya racham Barhavadam samasitam buddha sundarangam Kandarpa kodi kamaniya visesha shobham Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Lord Brahma is saying in detail, so exquisitely describing Krishna in his tending to his Surabhi cows and playing on his flute, and his bodily complexion is that of the rain-bearing clouds. And he has lotus petal eyes. I mean, the eyes like lotus petals. So this is the Lord's beauty is not excelled by any in the creation. In none of all the demigods are eager to see his form. And then and we have heard Lord Shiva describe his beauty. It is Sarva Saundarya Sangraha. That is, it's a sum total of all beauty. That is what Krishna's beauty is. So, and then we have this form of Krishna is very difficult to see by even the great yogis, by their great penances or austerities or anything. So, in fact, in the Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga chapter, in chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, when after showing the universal form to Arjuna, and he was quite bewildered by that one. So then finally Krishna reveals to him his two-handed form, and the Lord says, my dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, beyond the universal form, the form of Krishna with 2 hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him. And we have evidence in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother, Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord, although he was not at that time visible to them. They waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him, but to the impersonal something within him, etc. So this form of Krishna is in his original form. So Uddhava is describing that the Lord descended in his original two-handed form, which is just suitable for his pastimes. So he took birth among human beings. And how wonderful is that? Human beings have that, we are made in the image of the Lord. We have two-handed forms. He did not come in his Vaikuntha feature with 4 arms. Because in this form, he would be able to perform his wonderful pastimes in this human-like form. And so, only no one was equal to him in any respect, in any of the 6 different opulences, because Krishna has performed so many wonderful pastimes, like lifting the Govardhana hill and dancing on the Kaliya serpent, and protecting his Gopa friends from the forest fire, drinking the forest fire, and saving his father from an attack by a demon in the shape of a python. And he even went to the oceanic depths to rescue his father, who was arrested by Varuna Dev's agents. So he has performed so many wonderful pastimes, and revealed that all his mystic opulences, which nobody can even think of, in the earthly realm. And he married 16,000 wives in Dwarka. Who can do such pastimes, and anything. And the whole 10th canto is, every page is full of these activities of wonderful Krishna. Srila Prabhupada has written for us. And now we'll move to the next paragraph. When the Lord's pastimes are visible to the human eye, they are called prakata. And when they are not visible, they are called aprakata. In fact, the Lord's pastimes never stop, just as the sun never leaves the sky. The sun is always in its right orbit in the sky, but it is sometimes visible and sometimes invisible to our limited vision. Similarly, the pastimes of the Lord are always current in one universe or another. And when Lord Krishna disappeared from the transcendental abode of Dwarka, it was simply a disappearance from the eyes of the people there. It should not be misunderstood that his transcendental body, which is just suitable for the pastimes in the mortal world, is in any way inferior to his different expansions in the Vaikuntha lokas. His body manifested in the material world is transcendental par excellence, in the sense that his pastimes in the mortal world excel his mercy displayed in the Vaikuntha lokas. In the Vaikuntha lokas, the Lord is merciful toward the liberated or Nityamukta living entities. But in his pastimes in the mortal world, he is merciful even to the fallen souls who are Nityabhatha, or conditioned forever. The 6 excellent opulences which he displayed in the mortal world by the agency of his internal potency, Yoga Maya, are rare even in the Vaikuntha lokas. All his pastimes were manifested not by the material energy, but by his spiritual energy. The excellence of his Rasalila at Vrindavana and his householder life with the 16,000 wives is wonderful even for Narayana in Vaikuntha, and is certainly so for other living entities within this mortal world. His pastimes are wonderful even for other incarnations of the Lord, such as Sri Rama, Nrsimha, and Vara. His opulence was so super excellent that his pastimes were adored even by the Lord of Vaikuntha, who is not different from Lord Krishna himself. Actually, a lot can be said about this verse. I should limit it for another 10 minutes. Okay. So the first part, yesterday, Akhandadam Prabhu said, the Lord's disappearance does not mean that his body meets with the destruction. No, his self-same body, he moves on to his abode. And it was said specifically in yesterday's verse that body is removed from the vision of those who do not have the piety to see it, piety to behold it. Imagine. So only when our eyes are purified, we can see Krishna in his original form. Others see him as an ordinary human being. Like yesterday, Akhandadam Prabhu said about that washerman, the Dhobi. He could not understand Krishna. He could not understand Krishna. He was just a human being. He was just a ordinary human being. He was not able to understand Krishna. He was just a human being. He was just a ordinary 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 human being.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I think we lost Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhu, there is no audio.
Hopefully she is. I'll call her.
Hare Krishna. I apologize for that. Actually, I tried to move the laptop a little bit. In the process, I ended up pressing the power of that button. Sorry about that. So I have to share the screen again. Okay, and where did it go? Krishna. Okay, let me bring it up. Okay, here. Oh Lord. Messed up. Share screen. Okay. Share. So that washerman could not see the divinity of Krishna at all. He spoke to him rough words. He said, if King Kamsa come to know about you are wanting to wear these clothes, he will punish you, like that. So Krishna responded appropriately to him. Whereas the tailor or the garland maker, the tailor was so purified a personality. He presented the Lord with his best of the garlands he had. So that is how our punya works. So only when we are bereft of our piety to see Krishna, then his form is vanishing in front of us. So, or otherwise, we are just trying to accumulate that piety or that love for Krishna. Premanjana churita bhakti vilojanena sanda sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shyama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. So only those who have their eyes anointed with love for Krishna can perceive him always in their hearts, or they can recognize Krishna when he appears in person. So like we also have read about Krishna being in the wrestlers arena in Kamsa's court. And there, his mothers are seeing, oh, this my young boy of mine, how is he going to meet with this terrible wrestlers with such a great form? They have such a strong and very terrifying forms. How is my young boy who is going to deal with them? And the ladies there, they are saying, oh, he's so beautiful. He's Cupid personified. And the wrestlers themselves are seeing their death personified in Krishna. So such is the, whatever how our minds are, mindset is, that is what we are able to, how we are able to perceive Krishna. So then it should not be misunderstood that his transcendental body, which is just suitable for the pastimes of the mortal world, is in any way inferior to his different expansions in the Vaikuntha lokas. So here we have seen the Vaikuntha lokas, Lord is awarding his association to the Nitya Mukta living beings, who are already there in the liberated form. But coming here, Krishna is giving his association to all the Nitya Betha. That is, we are all conditioned souls here, conditioned to live in this material world. and Krishna is giving us his association. So he is much more kind and merciful in when he descends to this material world. So Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, that is the Swayam personality of Godhead in his original form is coming. So in his when he takes birth. So this is the most celebrated thing in all the all of history, all of the universes. This is the most fortunate thing that is glorified, and glorifying Krishna, we can get purified and go back home to Godhead. So in Brahma Samhita, verse number 90, it is said, the light of one candle being communicated to other candles, although it burns separately in them, is the same in its quality. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, who exhibits himself equally in the same noble manner in his various manifestations. So here, but in this verse, it is saying, it is not the six excellent opulences which he displayed in the mortal world by the agency of his internal potency, Yogamaya, are rare even in the Vaikuntha lokas. As it is not the same, it is even greater. That is, all his pastimes were manifested not by the material energy, but by his spiritual energy. The excellence of his Rasalila at Vrindavana and his householder life with 16,000 wives is wonderful even for Narayana in Vaikuntha. And is certainly so for other living entities within this mortal world. So this is why a human form of life is such a rare fortune that we can relish these pastimes of Krishna, and even the demigods wish to take birth on earth so that they can chant the glories of the Lord and return home to Krishna. So such is our good fortune, coming into contact with Krishna through the Bhagavatam, through Brahma Samhita, through Bhagavad Gita, in so many ways. And last verse, his last line, his opulence was so super excellent that his pastimes were adored even by the Lord of Vaikuntha, who is not different from Lord Krishna himself. And that is the story of the Sandhana Gopala. That is when Krishna and Arjuna were in Dwaraka. A Brahmana got a baby, and the baby was suddenly went missing. Then he immediately, at that time, it is all the king's fault. I mean, that if we experience any misery, it is because something is lacking in the king's protection or his purity. So the Brahmana goes and chides Krishna. This should not happen. It should not have happened to me. I am your subject. And so Arjuna promises, I will keep watch when your wife gives birth next time, and make sure that your baby is safely delivered. But even Arjuna could not, somehow mysteriously, the baby has disappeared. So the same thing happened so many times, I think 10 or 11 or something. And then Arjuna was about to give up his life under fire because he could not keep his promise to the Brahmana. Then Krishna said, no, you just come with me. I will show you where the children are. And they go on this transcendental journey through space, through all the universes, and arrive at the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. And why did Lord do this pastime of stealing the babies? Because he wanted to see Krishna and Arjuna together. Even Lord Narayana wants to see Lord Krishna and Arjuna together. So imagine the fortune of the earthly humans, and that's you're almost on time. So we can just contemplate the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, who said, you are originally eternal servant of Krishna, and you have the opportunity to go back home. I have brought the medicine for your to terminate your material existence in this miserable world. Jivara Sorupa hai Krishna ra Nitya Dasa. And he has given us the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He has propagated the Sankirtana movement, and through Srila Prabhupada's mercy, now we have hundreds of temples all over the world where we can gaze at the Murti of Krishna in the temple, so beautifully decorated. This was not possible before Srila Prabhupada. There are so few Krishna temples. You may see Vishnu temples. So Srila Prabhupada made all this available to every human on earth, so to say. We are so fortunate to live at this time. And Lord Chaitanya's mercy, and he demonstrated the Vipralamba Bhava of the gopis, how the gopis suffered in separation when Krishna left Vrindavana. That is the highest form of bhava that we can, he demonstrated for us. Every moment he lived hankering for Krishna's association. And then he said, our disposition is gopi patrupada kamalayor dasanu dasanu dasa. That is, we are simply connected to Krishna and no other. So who can reiterate, say it so strongly, that you belong with Krishna. Krishna's message in Bhagavad Gita, you surrender unto me, and you are part and parcel of me. All this is there. But Lord Chaitanya wanted to remind us again and again. See, you come back to Krishna, you come back to Krishna. So with Lord Chaitanya's appearance, they're coming so close. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you very much for listening. I'm very sorry if I did not, do a justification for this verse. And thank you all for your patiently listening. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Then Likraj Prabhu, then we can put an end to the class.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please
All
accept
glory
mine too, Prabhu. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, wonderful class, Mataji. You took us to all the lokas, and how Narayana himself wanted to see Krishna. Krishna
Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Very kind.
Just wondering about Uddhava. It is said that Uddhava used to look exactly like Krishna.
Yeah.
And so my mind is like a monkey. It not only went to Uddhava, and I realized Uddhava looks exactly like Krishna, but there used to be Pundalika who also used to look exactly like Krishna.
Oh, that I don't know, Prabhu.
Yeah, you know, that is why he got that ego, you know, because he looks like Krishna. He thought he is Vasudeva Krishna. So,
Oh, that Paundraga Vasudeva who put on the forearms and all that. Oh, okay.
yes.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
here Uddhava is so much in favorable of Krishna. I was remembering 5 types of mukti, one of which is Sarupya mukti. Correct?
Yeah.
No, so
Yeah. Well,
so
the gopis initially thought it was Krishna coming back. Then later they discovered it is Uddhava. He dresses the same way, and he has all the features of Krishna. He's so like Krishna. Yes.
So Swarup, you know, is supposed to be God in Vaikuntha, you know, but we see an example, you know, like Uddhava, somebody who looks exactly like Krishna and, you know, is very favorable to Krishna, serving Krishna. Can we consider this Swarupa Mukti also?
It's more than mukti, like directly serving the Lord, right? So, yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, cousin, he's also cousin, right, Uddhava?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Nephew.
So sometimes we see so much resemblance between, you know, cousin brothers and all that, you know. So in Uddhava's case, it will be all his acquired piety that gives him all this this special role as Krishna's best friend and so, you know, just like Kruta Punya Punja, Uddhava is one of the highest associates of the Lord, but eternal associates of the Lord. So it's more than mukti actually, because he is an eternal associate serving in his special role. You know?
So nice, Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Thank
comment.
you. Thank you. Mataji, if you know, Lakshmikant Prabhu said he's in a meeting. So, you know, whenever you're ready and there is no questions or discussions, you can just close the meeting. And I think
okay, so it is 8 past. I think we can close the meeting. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Have a great Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpadarubhya kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.